better late than never. I think finally this trailer is physically it's finished. So it took a while. I was waiting for that wire to arrive. Now I ordered one, but it never turned up, so I got a refund. And then the second one that I ordered, that one, I didn't realise it was coming from China, so it took about 11 or 12 days to get here. So yeah, I was busy with a few other projects in the background just because I don't like not being busy. But yeah, when the cable arrived, it was like as soon as you get all the pieces to the puzzle, you can finish your jigsaw. It all went together pretty quickly. So I've wired the neck in. As you remember in the last one, I had all these wires up here that were waiting to be connected to the beer unit, which is in the locker on the other side. But with the cable there, I was able to wire it all in. I put the beer unit in the other side locker. It just fits. I mean, it is snug, but it just fits. This one is where the battery will live, as you can see, and the power switch is just above it. And I also, I took the little catches off. There are these little latches that were up here in those silver holes on top of the door. I took them off because they're horrible little things. They're more like torture devices. You just hurt your fingertips and they jam all the time. It's amazing, all that money for this trailer, and they decided to put those on it. So I took them off this side. The other side they're still on, and they're actually latched because you very rarely, if ever, need to access the beer unit itself. But this side, because it's got a battery in it, I'm going to have to access it at least twice every time I use the trailer. So I took them off. Hopefully, I've done a couple of little tests here. It stays shut with the battery in, so I'm hoping it behaves itself when I take it out for an actual test, but we'll see. If not, what I'll probably do is take the hinges off that are on the bottom, and I'll just bend the pivot pin slightly, and that'll make the hinges really stiff. So that's always an idea, or I can do something else. But yeah, for now, that's what I've done there. And other than that, wired it all up, had it behind the truck, tested it. All the lights work, which I wasn't surprised about because I've wired up trailers with the modules 3 times already, so I can do that bit. The bit that I was a bit more, not worried about, but curious about were the functions. Of course, I got the front landing legs, the rear axle lock, the rear legs, and the ramps. They all work electronically. Now, I plugged all of them in. Thankfully, they're all connected via servo plugs. The beer unit has 4 servo outputs. So I plugged it in. You configure the trailer module completely through the truck. So I spent the other evening just getting a really quick, basic config set up, just so I could test the functions. And happily, they all work. They work really exactly the same as they did before, which is fantastic. So I was easily able to test them all. They all function. Now, what I can say, and the reason why I say the trailer is physically finished, is because software, I can spend forever now refining the configuration and making it better and easier to use and more realistic. So I've got all the functions working, but what I want to do is I would like the rear axle to lock automatically when the truck goes into reverse. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I want to put the rear legs and the ramps together on a combined function, so they work together automatically. And I've got a sound effect, like a pneumatic sound effect I want to play when the ramps go up and down. And the front legs, I've got a similar sound effect to play, or I could add another one for when the legs move. And again, the legs, the legs and the rear stuff, the ramps and the rear legs, I want to set up basically a condition that will only allow them to move if the truck is stationary. I've just started to do that, but again, all software stuff. I can spend hours now with the truck plugged in, figuring it all out and refining it. But physically, the trailer is finished. All the lights work, all the electrics are done. The only thing now, other than the software, is obviously what you can see on there at the minute, my steam engines. So usually I put steam engines on the trailer. The Brooder was no different, but this, I put my slightly heavier engines on. They're not stupid heavy, but I like them. I think they look really cool, and I love steam. I spent many years working on a road traction engine when I was younger, because I know I'm from Cornwall and it's such a weird upbringing, but it was fantastic. So I've got a collection of Mammods and Walesko's, and I want to put them on now to stop them rocking, because they do move. Even though it's in gear, it does move a little bit before it hits compression. I have got balsa wood, these things. I have got these things like balsa wood. What do you call that? A stick? Yeah. I know, I have them in the box somewhere. But I want to make wooden wheel chocks, basically. But one piece that sits sandwiches between the ramps and the neck. And it will house the rear wheels of the engines just to stop them rocking. So that's what I need to make. I'll paint it black and you won't really see it. I had exactly the same thing on the Brooder trailer from years ago. And I've also now brought a load of these chains and chain tensioners. Which will go... The chains are a bit meh, but the tensioners are pretty nice. So I might have to get some new chains. But the idea is the balsa wood wheel brace bracket thing will basically be the main restraint for the engines to stop them moving, and then the chains will just be on there for show, and of course they'll tie down into these eyelets or whatever. So yeah, I got to sort that out still, and I put some tie down points up on the neck in each corner, so that'll allow me to tie the living wagon now. And then the only other thing for the trailer is a carry case, a flight case for it. Something to keep it safe in storage and transit, which is where it's going to spend most of its time. This trailer wasn't cheap, and I don't want to cheap out on the box. So I've gone to an Italian seller who makes very, very high-end flight cases. And I've heard lots of good things about him. So I've messaged him. He sent me like a PDF of the trailer with blank dimensions, and I had to measure it all and send it like the axle spacing and the total length, total height, stuff like that, so we can make a box. Now it's going to be side loading, it's going to be blue, it's going to have Nooteboom stickers on the side of it in white. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. He said about another 2 weeks and it should be done. But yeah, so I'm going to faff around with these wooden chock things and make the engine restraints, I guess you could say. And then I'm going to wait for its box. I'm hoping to take it to Plymouth this month. That'll be its first proper run with all the wiring sorted. And that's where I'm up to. So I can't think of anything else to do on the trailer. I kind of want to move on to do another project. So I'm gonna say this thing's finished. Physically, the trailer's finished. It's just some software updates, which, to be fair, I'm still software updating the trucks years later. I'm always learning new ways to do things. So yeah, little thing like software update. Get the steam engines tied down and wheel chocked up properly, and then get the flight case for it, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Yeah, overall this is a really nice trailer. Those latches are a bit of a pain, and there is one other little thing I just wanted to show you. This is the only other slight design issue I've encountered. So the ramps, you're supposed to be able to slide them side to side. You can adjust the width, because you can adjust the width of the deck, of course, by taking the outriggers out and putting the wooden planks, which are there. I really wish the wooden planks had somewhere to live, but don't matter, they'll live in the case. But because you can change the width of the ramps, there's a little grub screw you can unscrew, and then they move, and then you retighten the grub screw. Now, said grub screw, you can't see it, because it's behind the light. Why is it behind the light? Surely you should be able to access that all the time. Just put it somewhere out here, or somewhere in there, somewhere accessible where you can just get an Allen key on it quickly, and then slide the ramps left to right. Now, thankfully, I'm not going to be moving the ramps. I'm not planning on moving them ever. But if you're going to want to do that, why have you put the grub screw behind the rear light plate? You've got to take those 4 screws out, take the plate off, and then get to the grub screw. That just seems like a design flaw, if you ask me. But yeah, that's the only serious complaints that I have. You can see the latches on this side. I've kept them on. Horrible little things. Yeah, painful, they jam and nasty. So yeah, that is the Nooteboom done. So overall, pretty happy with it, and yeah, should have some fun with it this year. Next video, I'm going to get started on my dad's night hauler, which is another little project that I need to get sorted. So I will show you all about that in the next video. But until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in that one. Cheers.